I used to really approach life with, I got 6 months to live. What do I want to get done today? As I count down 5 months and 29 days, 5 months and 28 days, 25, you know what I mean? That kind of mentality. So that I can realize, I separate out, you help what you can, but you still get your own life to live, you know? And you can do that on a daily basis. You can get up every day and say, okay, I might die tonight in my bed. What is it I want to get done today? Just sort of leave me, you know, leave something behind of me, and just sort of just absorb life today, absorb the beauty and truth of a new day. And it helps to sort of disengage so that you pitch in, you help, and then you don't get sucked into it and do it all day, all night, day after day after day after day after day. So a huge piece of honing your environmental diet is paying attention to when you get stuck in the negative, repetitive time and energy you spend, okay, that exceeds your bio capacity budget. Remember, you must go there, but you must not stay there. You go in, you get informed of the stress, and then you get out. You aren't serving the greater good when you're nurturing the negative, when you're nurturing your stress. Your job each week is to switch from areas of your life where you are eddying in stress to other areas of your life where you can stop and then go. Think about this. When you think of a greater need, we think of more. We think of, you know, add to it. And sometimes the greater need is subtraction. There's a greater need to just purge and hone and funnel down. We're talking about hierarchy of needs, but this starts when we, you know, exit the womb, right? Right. We're all about feed me, change me, keep me warm. I need to sleep. You know, give me, you know, keep me cuddly, whatever, love me. And it just evolves from there. By the time we're in young to mid adulthood, there's a lot of needs of, well, I think you got to try on needs. There's sort of like, I need to try on, you know, these jeans to see, you know, 3 different pairs and see if I look good in any of these and if I actually want them. It's the same with everything, you know, your car. Well, how much car do you need? How much, you know, how much house do you need? How much career do you need? The key to knowing that you don't go over the edge or whatever is staying connected to your greater power system that says, oh, well, I can go all the way out here. I can have lobster, right? You live in Maine. I can splurge on lobster. Right. Well, do you need to splurge on lobster once a week? Is that, you know what I'm saying? Now, to one person, that is decadent, over the board, you know, over the top need for their budget, whatever. And to another person is, yep, I make the kind of money and that's what I'm picking off as my thing that I want. It's all personal. Right. They definitely simplify as you get older because you slow off, you take off the parts that you're like, you know what, I've had enough of that. I don't need it anymore. I don't need as much anymore. I don't need as many anymore. Speed limit, it's hard because when I use the word speed limit, but speed hyphen limit, combine the two of them. You've got to go your speed and you got to put up your limits. So if you're doing something that feels like I'm going too fast, or you feel like something I'm being held up, because there are many things in our lives that's going too fast for us. We'll get overwhelmed with going too fast, whatever it is. It can be someone having a conversation with you that's a hard conversation and they're dumping stuff on you. You can be like, whoa, 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 slow your roll, slow your speed. You're going too fast for me. It can be anything that you're doing and it's overwhelming you. You're going too fast for me. It can be somebody explaining something to you, teaching you something. You're going too fast. Or you're going too slow. I'm tapping my foot here. Let's, you know, pick it up. or you're in my way. You're in my way, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, right? Spiritually, someone's in your way. Not that you actually go say you're in my way, but in your head, you're like, okay, this person is in my way. Or you're sitting with them and you're like, you wake up and you think, oh, you're in my way. You're blocking my, you're in my way. So that's what I want you to think about, right? Consciously increasing your speed limits, your speed and your limits, both of them. So when you're going too slow, gas pedal. When you're going too fast, brakes. Stay within your speed limit. You're spending your time and energy meeting these unmet needs and achieving these goals, balancing how you spend your time and energy that is discerned by experiencing enough joy. Enough being the key piece here, okay? Not enough joy in any one area of your life throws your life out of balance. You need to experience enough joy across your whole life. Experiencing enough joy because you've come to full stops, gotten your needs met, achieved your full goals. I've had experiences of what enough is for you. Okay, naturally changes your preferences of what you value. Okay, evolves your pyramids. Now think about that. I prefer my meat cooked medium rare. I prefer the temperature in my house to be at 70. I prefer my shoes to be no taller than 2 inches. Literally, you could go through, these are all preferences that you've evolved over time. It says, this is my preference. It could be a little more rare, it could be a little more medium, but my preference is medium rare. It could be 69 degrees, it could be 71 degrees, but I notice it when it's one or the other. My preference is 70. Does that make sense? That's what you're evolving in we're honing this in so that you gain a lot more joy out of your life, because it all adds up. It adds up tremendously. You want to pay attention to your voice trying to chase you down to manifest something. And if you are running in fear, okay, you want to turn around and face that fear, like sitting down with your journal, releasing and processing that fear so it doesn't have so much power over you, right? If you notice repetition in your sentences, pick a problem or a nagging thought or a positive pattern, and explore and pick a time frame to reread them, okay? You don't have to, you can pick off something and just set aside and say, okay, Friday afternoon for an hour, I'm just going to play with this and just sort of explore. It's almost like you picked up a coloring book, and the crayons or the markers or the pencils, and you're sort of doodling. You can do that in your journal where it's like a writing thing where you just sort of reread something and you're just sort of writing mindlessly as to what comes with it. But I've done that where I just will reread or pick off a problem or a nagging thought and just sort of I sit in the sign. I do it. It works really best when you do that. If you sit at the beach and do it, or at the park on a bench. I used to drive downtown to the Gardner waterfront and sit in my van looking out over the river and just sit for a half an hour. Okay, I'm gonna give myself a half an hour, and it's not as intense. It's not as I'm gonna get this sorted or whatever. You just, okay, here's my problem. I'm gonna read a little bit about this. I'm gonna write a little bit about it, and I'm just gonna let it ooze out of me. Let it flow. Let it flow. I have never walked away from an experience of that without getting some uplifting feeling of, because the very minimum you drain the tension from what, and you can always walk away with a little nugget of something that says, oh. And even if you don't get a full solution, you get a hint of solution coming. It's on its way. You get that message. You get that feeling of, yeah, it's coming. Delivery is, it's at the post office in such and such town, and the next shift is gonna get it delivered to you, kind of thing. It's coming. It's on its way. That kind of feeling. I have kept an empty page or a sheet beside me as I'm perusing those pages to make notes. Okay, what's catching your attention? What stands out? What's sticky? What's resonating? Did what I write then still ring true today? Ask yourself why or why not. What's missing from what you were reading? Because you pay attention, you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. You know what I noticed is I'm not doing blah, 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 or I'm not experiencing blah, 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 or not feeling whatever. You could explore their evasion. I found that in my writing patterns where I was beating around the bush in my own journal, thinking, yeah, I really don't want to go there, but I got to go there. Right? Are you resisting something that is persisting? Is there something bothering you, nipping at your heels, and you can't quite put your finger on it? I've had that. I'd just be like, what is, something is, I've been journaling a long, long time, but it was a lot of journaling before I got to the point where I could clear out what is bugging me? There's something that is, I'm walking around with this, something is poking at me, and I can't figure out what it is. And I would get into my journal and I would journal. It'd take me days sometimes to be like, what is up with this? Now I can, in a matter of 2-3 sentences, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I see where I see where we're doing here, and that kind of a thing. It takes practice, and that has nothing to do with the actual length of time you journal. That just has to do with the process of journaling and training your mind, training your brain to hone down and catch things quicker. Your planted dreams are just as important as your unmet needs, not less important. You are not meant to go through life only meeting needs and never fulfilling dreams. The difference between meeting needs and fulfilling dreams lies in what's driving you to get out of bed every morning with joyful anticipation, joyful expectation, and joyful purpose. I want you to view the satiation priorities as equal between your needs and your dreams. Okay, not struggling your whole life to meet your needs and not understanding the equal worth of fulfilling your dreams. We are very limited with our memory. This journaling, the writing process, does two things. It really embeds the knowledge, the memory into your brain, as well as actually putting it out on paper, as well as, oh, I can go back and read this. You know what I'm saying? So there's a memory or a thought or whatever. It can go down on the paper so you know that, oh, it's written down. But the act of doing that embeds that memory deeper. It stores that knowledge in a much more accessible place in the brain. Notice the sticky thoughts, the words that you get stuck on, okay? And you find yourself half a page down and then you're like, wait a minute, I don't remember anything I just read. That means you got stuck on whatever. It sent you on a little, a trip, right? A little journaling trip. I highlight the heck out of my journals. I mean, they're literally, I don't know how many colors. I've sought all kinds of colors because I ran out of colors. Because I would go back with a particular theme. I'm going to go back and highlight every time I did such and such, or I said such and such, and it would all be in yellow. And then the next time I'd be, okay, I'm going to go back and, highlight every time I, blah, blah, blah. And that would be all in green. Well, after a while, I ran out of colors. Wonderful, colorful journals, but it works. It works because you can just skim. You can flip through and, oh, this one's green. Oh, this one's green. And you can just go through and see patterns. Really fun to do. You pick off something you want to do, but within that, there's things that you have to do that keep you at your best. You don't want to just do a want to do and it becomes a lukewarm want to do because you're missing things that you have to do within your want to do. Within your want to do, we end up having blocks to doing them because we either can't figure out how to, you got to have time and energy within it, okay, to do the want to do. to include your have to do's. Because we think we're all about the want to do's. We're all about the want to do's. But the problem is we've got things that we've mastered about ourselves that says, I need to write. I want to write, right? I'm writing my book. Okay. I need to have the space I'm in at 70 degrees. Because for me to sit in that chair and type for as long as I do, if it's 69 degrees, after a while, I get cold. Yeah. So that's a have to do within the space of something I want to do. If it's 69 degrees, we're talking 1 degree. If it's 69 degrees, guarantee you, the next day I go to write, I get up, I will dread writing. If I don't have control over the thermostat that says, I don't want it at 69, I need it at 70 so that I'm not cold, so I can write for as long as I need to write. You can check off the things that you have to do so that you clear that out of the way, so that your want to do is free and clear of things that you don't want to sacrifice, okay, the quality of your joy within that want to do, however that looks. Work with your have to do's, fit them into your want to do's so that you get the full joy of doing the want to do. Because if you don't, you erode the joy of your want to do.